We've managed to drag Toby Kaar into our little green room. Thanks for allowing this to happen and all that.
No problem.
Good to see you. Congratulations on your set earlier
Oh yeah,
on.
thank you. Thank you.
You are. You just seem to be busy all the time. I'm following you on Twitter. Every time I see your tweets, I've just done a new track. I've just remixed this.
Yeah.
Do you have any free time at all?
That is my free time. That's all I do.
Really?
No, that's what I do to relax. You know, I've got other things like breakfast. I like free time after breakfast. You know,
Okay,
it's a lot of work making breakfast.
Lunch,
lunch. You know, and so I make music, and then I go, oh god, I have to go back to work, and then I make lunch, and then I go back to making music.
What about snacking? Does that get in the way?
No, I just kind of consider that like half work. You know, like part time work. But yeah, most of the time.
One of the things that people have been asking you a lot is you've just got a rake of material available.
Yeah.
Is there an album due at some point?
That rake of material has taken me years to put together. That's why there's a rake of it. It's just people have noticed it in the past year. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, there's work. I think it takes me so long to make music, so there's a plan to do an EP in the next few months. I don't know. You might catch at the end of this year, start of next year. But that's the plan that's going. I played some new stuff today at Electric Picnic. So there should be more out once I can actually get good stuff together. I wouldn't want to be putting out bad stuff, you know. I wouldn't want to let you down.
Are you pretty tough on yourself? Is there the stuff that you've made maybe a year ago that you're going, oh, I can't listen to that anymore?
Pretty much every track. Well, I mean, I've got 2 tracks that I'm happy with that I still play live, and the rest of them, every time I play them, I kind of cringe, and every time someone says they're good, I kind of cringe. But no, yeah, I am really tough on myself. That's why it takes so long. It's not that I'm slow making music. I can make a track in a day. It's just for every 10 tracks I make, maybe one of them's good. So it takes forever for me to make a track that I'm really happy with because, you know, I've got high standards, as you can tell, you know?
I'm not even going to go there. I read somewhere recently that you said you started making music badly 6 years ago. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really music. It was, you know, if I gave you a drum machine, you would be like, oh, look at me.
You did not want to give me a drum machine, believe me.
Do you know what it was like? It was like, do you remember that episode of Friends where Ross had his sound and it was like the keyboard and it was just like cows mooing and stuff? I was making tracks like that and just robot voices reciting pi or saying monkey tennis repeatedly.
That sounds pretty good.
Well, I don't know. You could put it in The Wire, like, but it wasn't really, you know, it wasn't really stuff that I would listen to. You know?
You've obviously remixed.
Wire this.
You've obviously remixed a load of different artists as well. Is there any particular bands that you've worked with that you've just gone, oh my god? Because obviously when you're remixing stuff, you're really seeing the different parts and all that.
Yeah.
What are some of the most talented and best bands that you've worked with?
Well, I mean, they're all talented. I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't remix a band that I thought, you know, didn't deserve to be remixed, but that, you know, that I thought, you know, I was just going to be doing all the work to make it sound good. So, but you know, everyone was really different. Like Nouveau Noise, the 2 guys do their stuff completely themselves, and it sounds amazing. Sacred Animals, I had to like cut out half of it because he was doing all these really weird things that I couldn't understand. I couldn't figure out how to play music to it, like in a good way. And then, you know, someone like the most recent one I did for Funeral Suits, you know, there was just like, it was just another case of just the way they played their instruments. It was just something I wouldn't have ever thought about doing, you know, and just like the kind of riffs and all that stuff that's, you know, why I love remixing is because
yeah, Funeral Suits are really one of those bands that do things just that little bit differently, and they do it brilliantly too.
But like at the same time, it's not, you know, so left field that you know you can't get it. You know, it's definitely pop music, you know. But
yeah, it's just a little bit off kilter, I suppose.
That's, you know, that's what's good about
them,
no,
brilliant.
You know, and that's why I chose to do them. You know, I get a lot of offers to do remixes, and I've totally stopped doing remixes. But Funeral Suits came along, and I knew that, you know, I knew about them, and I said, you know, definitely, that's definitely one that, you know, I'll take up even if it takes a while to do. So, yeah.
On the subject on your live set, is there a plan in the future to maybe expand that or do things differently?
Yeah, there's always plans to like keep going, because I've kind of, you know, if you see a band that's already played a song 100 times, you know, you see these bands and they're just worn out playing the song, and it just kind of, you can see their eyes glaze over as they play the song, and I don't want that to ever happen with my music. So yeah, I'm always trying to develop things. I'm talking to a guy from Dublin who's designed another kind of device that hopefully I'll be able to work on it with him. But it's a kind of like a prototype, and I don't know what's happening yet. You know, we're in touch and talking about it, but it's very much, you know, if it goes ahead, I'd be using one of the prototypes of it, and you know, and then there are other things I have, like I'm planning on, hopefully, fingers crossed, like, you know, writing some of my own computer programs to try and develop it, just kind of, you know, because I do a course in that kind of stuff, and that's just a really good idea to do, and yeah, it makes it interesting, and that's all I want to do, come from the set.
So when are you going to do this? Before, after breakfast, or after dinner?
Oh no, man, like this needs full time. I can't eat 2 days in advance, you know what I mean? How else do you get this figure, you know?
I know. Well, I've got a similar figure, actually.
Yeah, and
there you go.
Yeah, I know. See, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. Listen, a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Hang on, wait, right hand. Yeah. Dan Hegarty. Oh, is that away?
Perfect. Thanks a million.